Today we're welcoming Anna Holmes, the founder of the website Jezebel, in conversation with columnist and novelist John Methvin. John has written for many media outlets, including the New York Times, BuzzFeed, and The All. His novel, This Is Your Captain Speaking, is a high-speed satirical commentary about celebrity obsession and how corporate America has learned to capitalize on it. We asked John to speak to Anna today since while he wrote a satire about 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week media, Anna, for a while anyway, was the 24-hour and 7 days a week media. So Anna Holmes founded the website Jezebel in 2007 to provide an online presence for women, by women, about everything that women care about. Jezebel dove deep into a range of nitty-gritty subjects that are covered by today's media. This includes everything from conversations about rape on college campuses to scathing criticism on equal pay legislation to the pressing need to know about Beyoncé's personal life and fashion choices. The editors and columnists at Jezebel have shattered the tiny glass ball that used to surround the label of feminist media. They have no trouble calling themselves ladies. While they put the magnifying glass on the way women are portrayed in the media, the reality of what women deal with every day, and how women view themselves. The commentary is sometimes irreverent, sometimes heartbreaking, but always poignant. The site has become a mouthpiece for a generation of women and men who see open discussion on an eclectic array of subjects as a thing that normal, intelligent, multidimensional people do. The idea is that the voices speaking to us through the media should reflect that. Anna and her co-editors have put together a collection of those voices in a new book called The Book of Jezebel, an illustrated encyclopedia of lady things. It's not a reprinting of website posts, but an original cultural review, in alphabetical order, in the state of women's lives today. Now please welcome the founder of the website Jezebel, the editor of the Book of Jezebel, Anna Holmes, as interviewed by John Methvin.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be with a fellow New York writer. So talking about the Book of Jezebel, we can't talk about this until we talk about the website. Now Jezebel, Anna's no longer working there, writing it. She created it. And this month actually celebrates the 7th anniversary of Jezebel. So talk to us a little bit about why you started this website and what you hope to achieve.
I think I'd forgotten that it was going to be 7 years this month, but you're right. I think it launched on May 21st.
Next week, I think.
Of 2007. And normally I'd remember this very, I'd be like kind of counting up the days, but I think I've forgotten a little bit that it had been 7 years. But to answer your question, why I created it?
Yeah.
Well, I was asked to start a site for the parent company, Gawker Media, that was a women's website that would cover celebrity and sex and fashion. And I had worked at a number of women's magazines throughout my career up until that point. This was in 2006 that I started talking to Gawker Media about starting a site for them. And I'd been working in magazines since I'd graduated from college in 1995. So it'd been a little over a decade. I'd also worked at a number of celebrity magazines, and I had never really enjoyed working at either celebrity magazines or women's magazines. It was a way for me to make a living, but it wasn't the sort of writing or editing that got me excited. And in fact, it often got me very angry because I thought that it was quite patronizing to, these magazines were quite patronizing to the readers, most of whom were female, that they tended to have a very narrow definition of what it meant to be female, and that they assumed that women's lives revolved around a few things, namely shopping, the acquisition of a male, dieting, makeup, etc., and gossip. And that's not to say that there aren't women who, are interested in those things, but I think that we're a lot more complex than the magazines that I was working for were giving us credit for. And so when I was asked to start a website for Gawker Media that would be a women's website that would cover these topics, because Gawker Media is known for publishing sites that kind of punch up at institutions. So, for example, Deadspin, their sports site, tends to go after ESPN quite a bit. Gizmodo, their tech site, has a history of going after Apple. The Gawker's sites were always somewhat scrappy, and prided themselves on telling the truth in many ways about industries that had been kind of glossed over. So it felt like it'd be a perfect opportunity for me to do a women's website that would go after women's magazines that I'd worked for, but also to present an idea of what it meant to be a woman that was more complex and diverse, and it was more reflective of 21st century America. Because that was another complaint of mine with regards to a lot of these magazines, was that they tended to be overwhelmingly, they tended to feature overwhelmingly white, very thin 22-year-olds, and none of the women. Well, I mean, I'm far away from being 22, but most of the women that I knew did not fit that description, and were cracked in fact quite more, much more diverse, both ethnically and in terms of their sexual orientation than the media was again representing. So it felt like the perfect kind of fit to do a site that would go after women's magazines. That would be a kind of, in a way, its own women's magazine, the one that I would love to have read. I wouldn't call it a women's magazine. It was a blog. I mean, it was we were posting 50, 60 things a day. There was a very high metabolism and turnover with regards to the sorts of stuff we were putting up online. We were also, aggregating things that appeared elsewhere. We did do original stuff, but for the most part, we were reacting to and commenting on and pointing out things in the more traditional mainstream media and the ways in which mainstream media talked about women, thought about women, critiqued women. We basically just wanted to, have fun in doing a very spirited but also serious site.
I'm actually going to read from. This is from the Book of Jezebel. This entry is Cosmopolitan, and this is a magazine. It's a pioneering but extremely frustrating American women's magazine that began advocating for female sexual freedom in the late 1960s under editor-in-chief Helen Gurley Brown, but then devolved into recycled sex advice, mediocre fashion spreads, and paranoid articles that tell you your man may be cheating if he talks too much, doesn't talk enough, sleeps on his side, coughs a certain way, or breathes. And so that's kind of the voice of Jezebel that Anna is responsible for, is that voice. And you brought up an interesting point. You're putting out 50 to 60 pieces a day. There's a lot of people that start, their dream job is to start a website, to start a blog. Mm-hmm. But then when they start it, and they find success like you have, talk a little bit about what that's like. That sounds to me like the dream job that would also be a huge grind.
The job was not my dream job. At the time that I agreed to do it, I worked for InStyle magazine, which was not one of the women's magazines that I hated working for, because it was pretty straightforward. It wasn't really giving diet tips or instructing its readers on how to keep a man by being good in bed. It was just kind of, here's a celebrity's house and here's some outfits for spring, like stuff that I didn't really find was offensive. But my dream was not to start a blog, because this was 2006, and none of my friends who worked in media were working on the web. They were all working in magazines. I had started working in magazines. I certainly was a consumer of the internet. I read blogs. I used the internet to buy things. I bought things on Amazon, and I would read the New York Times online or CNN.com, but I was not someone who saw it as a career opportunity. And I think a lot of that was because back then websites were not paying very well. I mean, I wasn't making a lot of money at InStyle, but I certainly didn't want to be making, $18,000 a year, slaving my ass off on a blog like some of the bloggers I heard were doing, and a lot of them were a lot younger than me. So it kind of fell into my lap. And when I was hired to do the site, I was told that my salary would be matched to that of my salary at InStyle. So that changed everything. And I think that was about when, blogs and websites, and I hate to use both those terms because I think they can be very interchangeable. That's when media companies started investing more money in the internet and paying their employees fairer rates. So I just want to make sure that I hadn't really dreamed of working on the web. I'd kind of dreamed of always